Session control is
session control.
session control.
Hey, session control, baby, yeah.
Yo, what's up? It's Revii, and I'm with Session Control. So I'm originally born here in Los Angeles. I was born in Tarzana Hospital. My parents, they had a lot of gangbanging stuff as I was growing up, so it became unsafe for us to live out here. So we moved out to Minnesota. I grew up mostly in the St. Paul area. My dad was like a Joe Jackson in my life, first person to ever introduce me to music. And he also, I grew up around the influence of my uncles, which adopted my dad. He was adopted by a family that owned a church. And so I grew up in an academy around a lot of different type of music, very versatile. So yeah, that's a little bit of my musical background, childhood, how I got in Minnesota too. Always feeling like it's never worth it. Never wanted to leave you hurting. I never wanna be that person. You can't call when things get hard. Cause when you need a hero, I'll play that part. I was very young when we left LA. I don't remember too much of what it was like being out here, besides the constant anxiety I know that I could feel off like my mom and dad. And we had like people from a lot of different gangs at our door and stuff like that. I remember like stuff like that, instances like that, but I was way too young to really analyze what was going on. I really started developing an understanding of like who my parents were and what they was into when I moved to Minnesota. The first time I fell in love making music, I used to try to play this grand piano that my parents owned at our crib out in St. Paul. And I would, if they weren't giving me like attention or something, I used to like make little shows for them. Like I used to set up a bunch of dolls and teddy bears and make fake tickets and give them to my parents and tell them to come make the show, but they never came. I don't know what it was. They used to work a lot. But I always wanted to do music. I always felt that like inside of me. And I was just kind of craving for somebody to pay attention to that interest that I had. And so the first song I ever wrote by myself and performed at a talent show and won the talent show was a song I wrote called Notice Me. And I was about like 8 years old, probably when I wrote that song and won my first talent show. My biggest musical influence growing up, I didn't know too much about hip hop till I was like probably 12 or 13 years old. I mostly grew up around my uncles and my father, and they were always making in-home music and always trying and experimenting with different sounds. But my uncle played every instrument, so I was always into like the live music part of music making. I love live instruments like guitar, piano, drums. And I used to go to a lot of festivals, even as a young kid, like adult festivals, like they were doing heavy drugs and I didn't even notice. I was just vibing, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I think just growing up in that, and you know, for other people as you get older, they do all the shrooms and stuff and at the festivals to feel the music. I wasn't in that vibe, but I could feel it. I was young. When you're young, you're very impressionable. So I guess being within that vibe really motivated me to want to be on one of them stages one day and see people enjoy my music as much as they were enjoying my uncle's music. He performed on stages a lot when I was younger and also got me into some of my first festivals. Yeah. So he was a really, really heavy influence in my life. Besides Michael Jackson, of course, like that's somebody I went and discovered on my own. I knew music would be a focal point in my life when no matter where I ended up in life, it always brought me back there. Like I was a bad kid, I'm not gonna lie. I went to jail a lot. Like I spent a majority of my high school years in jail. Or I guess JDC, that's what they call it. And it's like every time I was stuck between those walls, all you could do was write and sing to yourself and hear the echo bounce off the walls. And then the only school I ended up being able to go to because my IEP became a level 4 because I was a level 4 behavioral student, which means I was always fighting and always getting kicked out. The only school that accepted me was High School for Recording Arts, which was a school where I could record music all day and basically get A's and B's on whatever project I made through music. And I felt like that was God just telling me to stay on that. So the project Denial that just dropped 11/17, which was just passing Friday. There's a specific record on there that means a lot to me, but overall the whole project has a lot to do with a deeper meaning than you might see on the surface. I've been through a lot, not only as an artist but as a woman in the game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been through the ringer, man, and I feel like music was the only way to put myself up. And I feel like the perspective that my music carries is almost like putting yourself in my shoes and living through me. And in hopes to get you through whatever you're going through. That's really my main aim, is to be for the people. And that's why I do music. It's for the people that need a voice and don't have one. You bring me happiness, and I keep my distance. Trapped in my own loneliness till you came into existence. And I can keep my distance from you, baby. And I can keep my distance from you, baby. But you know that I listen for you. The biggest challenge for me in this game was believing in myself. When you go through a lot of trauma and you put all your security into what other people think, you start to live life that way and giving a lot of people authority over your decisions. And certain things started not to feel like me anymore, and I was losing myself and trusting other people's vision for me. And this is the first time I trusted my own and got to dig into my roots for this album. So it really meant a lot to me to be able to do that. Today in a bad day, I can feel the raindrops on my forehead. Maybe love in a bad thing, but I admit being faithful's boring. Fucking two bitches at once. Shoot a movie while we do our own stunts. Yeah, I'm drunk, I can barely count to one, but bet nobody treat me like a punk. Shit, I'm drunk as fuck. So there's 7 tracks. It's stated as an EP, but everybody who's heard it feels like it's a complete album. I respect that. I love it. I honor it. So I got the first one on there is Gasoline. The second one is Try Hard Hero. The third one I believe is Pretty Baby. The fourth one is Call My Name. The fifth one is Peace of Wealth. The sixth one is I gotta look back. I ain't gonna lie. You gotta check the track list. I have a lot of music, man. I have a heavy catalog, so it took me a while to kind of put it together. So the first one would be Gasoline. Second one, Try Hard Hero. Third, Pretty Baby. Fourth, Baby Powder. Fifth, Call My Name. Sixth, Peace of Wealth. And seventh, Denial. This was it was very hard for me to be that vulnerable. Especially like I said, on the surface level, it's easy to make up the lyrics and stuff at whatever the word wants to make it. But when you actually know a little bit more of the cadence to the story, it makes you dig a little deeper into yourself too and wonder, how you got through certain situations. And I aim to help. I feel like I want to be a vessel, to help people get through their problems, to help people find themselves and to love themselves. Because I know what that shit feels like, and I ain't never had nobody tell me the right or the wrong things to do. I've always been my own parent, everything. I was homeless at 14, and I got my first crib at 15. So for me, always being alone, I had a lot of time with myself to talk to myself and get myself to where I'm at now.